So back at the garage, I've just picked the van up now, and it's a reconditioned EGR valve that they've put in, and it's not closing properly, and it's just not working right. So they've ordered a Ford one, but now he's got to get me in when the part comes in, like, and that's all Fords, but it's been a week. Well, I'm cutting out the end of the porcelain now for a picture frame, because we've got to have a screen to cover up this exterior gas tank here, and I'm using this little hard enduro blade from... I could get the little TC125 out, but it's absolutely freezing today. I don't want any cold water on my knees or anything, so just dry cutting it, and it's coming up fine. It's good. Well, I made it here with my van. It's not running perfectly, but I'm here. It's absolutely freezing today. Not as cold as with the other week, but it's the wind. Got the picture frame in along here. That's completed, but the picture frame has to continue. We've got to take that wood out of there. It's got to continue round here, up to here. We've got to sort some area on this bit here, then round here, which I'm cutting out now, then around here, and then we got this. I've got to trim those up and make them look good. Got a chip one there, that's got to come out, and then a picture frame around here. Then it looks as if we're going to have a step along this area, and then we'll be out this area. Well, I forgot the cutters out now, but we've got some picture framing and some drainage work around here. Over here, we're at the right height, too low damp, but our customer wants a step along there, so that's not a problem. We're going to be putting a step in there, and we're going to do it in the squares in the Belmont. We're going to use those, but we're going to cut them in half and just have like a one step, 400 wide step. Well, this pipe isn't serving anything. This was another pipe they were going to put in, and we've tested it, and there's water coming out the end of it. We've blown down the end, we've taken it off from the corner over there, so now I'm going to cut it off here, so hopefully I won't get blown up. There we are. This is in addition. We could go a whole slab, but the thing is, bringing a whole slab, they're 800s, well, just under 800s, they're 760, so I think it'll come out too far, and they just want something just to step onto. I think it'll just take up too much of this area, so, but that's looking okay. Well, at last, a bit of progress. What a glorious day, what a beautiful day it is, and just imagine if we had every day like this through the winter periods. We wouldn't be calling it the daily grind then, would we? Well, we made a little bit of progress yesterday with the cuts around the outer edge. I need a shave, definitely need a shave. But I just spoke to the customer now, and I think we should push on with the drive, get it dug out, and there's things that we can do in the rain. If it is raining a little bit, you can get some edging curves in. As long as it's not raining too much, we can sheet it up. But doing those intricate cuts around the outer edge is not always a good thing. So we're going to do it with skips, because we've got a good friend, Rich and I, Chris, who's got a skip company local, A1 Skips. And we're going to try and get the skips there, because we want it as a controlled dig. There's a lot of traffic going across there, so we don't want a grab service going on there. Because it can be a bit of a pain. It's very tight. There's a reen on one side, and there's some big trucks that come by, so we don't want to congest the road. So we're going to do it with skips. We can dig off one half, put the skip on one side, and then alternate it after that. And then we may need three, not quite sure. It is an existing driveway, so it may have a bit of stone in there as well, but the likelihood that we're going to have to go down a little bit digger, because it's a wet area. It's called the Wetlands. Well, not a great day today, but it's I think it's about 1 o'clock now, but I've decided just to come down because we've got to make a decision about what we're going to be doing next. What I mean by what we're going to be doing next, around the back here, we've got very little to do, probably about 2 days, maybe 3 days, 2 days, I should say. And then we've got a wall to do, but that's okay. We got to tile that wall. So as I said, we've only got a couple of days left on this part here, but I can't be laying anything that's intricate like the picture frame on this part because the rain is just going to destroy it. But there is something else we can do. And what that something else is firstly, clean up. And secondly, we've got this drive to do. This is on the cards. It's been booked in to get done. It's all part of the same project. And I've got a skip coming today for tomorrow. Might even load it today, I'm not quite sure, but it's stopped raining now. You see, that's the thing about it. The rain absolutely plays havoc. So yeah, the rain absolutely plays havoc all the time, and we've got this area. This is the area where I transit through, and I just feel that we can make some time, even if it does rain, sort of just tidying things up, getting things organised and getting ready for the next phase. Well, I'm feeling much better. Gets you down all that rain, doesn't it? And you can't get on, can't get and do the jobs that you need to do. The fact is, we had a fair bit of clearing up. Not that I didn't know it needed to be clearing up, it was just that the amount of rain that was coming down, it would be a disaster. Yes, I've got a little fire going here now, and it just reduces the amount of rubbish that we actually have to take away. Well, I want to show you the drive we're starting to dig out now. You can have a look at what the makeup is. Well, you can see there's quite a slope going down, and basically what I can see is that if you have a look at it, let's have a look a little bit closer now. So what we have here is we have the block. There's the block. There's the sand it's laid on, which is nothing at all, and it's been laid on building sand. So there's the building sand, and then there's the stone. So you haven't even got an inch. Well, you haven't even got 20 mil. Yeah, total mess then, really, isn't it? That's the stone, recycled product, and then underneath here we've got a seam of clay, and then we've got a hard surface here, and there's a little bit of sand on there, but that's hard. But that's not good as an horizon. Well, I haven't brought you any time lapse because trying to set the camera up on a job like this is always a little bit difficult, especially in weather conditions like this, especially with the wind and the seagulls. So this is where we have a septic tank. That's what a concrete base is, and we're getting down to the right depth now underneath the skip. There was a lot of room here yesterday. I'm going to move that skip around, get this area cleaned out over here, move these blocks, and we got a manhole there as well, so I might be able to reduce the height of that because it's a little bit high, but we'll see, and let's just get it done, I suppose. I've got these cuts here, but I'm not going to throw them because you just don't know when you want that elusive cut, a spare cut, and then throw them away in the skip, so I'm not going to throw them yet. Well, if you look at this, there's a bit of a mixed bag of everything in there, and if we look around the corner, you can see I'm probably taking off about 16, 17 inches. So this is the manhole. I believe that was supposed to be obsolete, but I think there's it's feeding something, so we've got to get this sorted. Well, because of the concrete that was over the top of there, this supposed it was just too high, and it just looked silly. There was too much of a ramp on the drive, and now we've got to go a lot more deeper. It's worth just taking as much as you can out, just to ensure a good depth and a good sub base. Well, a massive thanks to Juicens. They come out trumps then, so I took as much of the rubbish that was in here. There was all sorts of rubbish. We've had 2 skips today. In all, we've had about 6 skips from here. We couldn't get a grab service because this road is so busy, massively busy. Along here, there's a water treatment works at the top there, so they're up and down in lorries, so we couldn't get a grab on here. That skip's got to go though. We've got to get rid of that now. So bit of clean stone, at least we can level that off and work on it if we need to. So and create a void. We need a void, but the water's moving on. That's the thing. It's not building up. It's not rising up, but we still need a void. So we're gonna have to cap off the top of this with some concrete like before. It's such a shame, but it was about 8 inches too high. Well, that's it for me today, and I'm so sorry that a lot of the footage this week has been a lot of talking and not a lot of showing. I couldn't find a tripod. I should have went and got another tripod, but it was just sort of trying to make use of the time when it wasn't raining. The good thing is I went and got some socks because my socks kept falling down in my boots. Yeah, it's been a bit of a funny week really. Couldn't get the cameras out to couldn't get the camera. The wind's terrible. Couldn't get the cameras out to phone. Couldn't get the cameras out to film simply because the amounts of rain that we were having, and the speed of the wind was incredible. And apparently next week it's gonna get a little bit worse. So we've got plenty to look forward to. Also, of course, next week it's going to get colder apparently, and we could be having snow. This hasn't been the most difficult job when it comes to digging out a driveway. I've had a lot worse in the past, and you just put up with it. The thing is, it was a surprise about that septic tank, and in the respect of what it was actually doing. I was told that it was obsolete, that it wasn't working no more, but there was evidence of toilet paper, so it is in use. But apparently it's a toilet that very rarely gets used. But what we can have is when the toilets are being flushed, the amounts of water going into that area, that volume of that septic tank, but it is moving on. The water is moving on. So didn't quite get to the bottom to find out where it was going, but there's no evidence to say that it was building up, even with the amounts of rain we're having. We're in an area called The Wetlands, so you do get a lot of water. There's a rain over on that side there, and I think the height of the water in the rain would have been higher than the water that was actually in that septic tank. So it is working, it is moving on. But there is a local pumping station around here. It's quite unique in this area about how they get rid of sewage and foul systems, and yeah, lots to be considered. Touch wood, it's working all right at the moment. In the warm. I've been gabbling on a little bit, and that's not good.
just introduced this morning. They're a little bit more manual. You don't have a wiggle some more about prices, but good service. We've come for some all-in cement and some flat top pin curve. Well, this is the threshold of the drive. We're going to be getting the edging curve in along here this morning. Just going to reduce the height of the total one now in the meantime. Well, good morning. We're back on with the edging curbs this morning, the pin curbs, the edging restraints you need for your driveway. And what we've noticed this morning, we're getting to the correct depth through the MOT sub base, but what it's done is formed a crest on the top through the frost this morning, but we need to get to the right height. Now, don't be mistaken, right, that crest will give you a false reading, and a false reading that it has no compressive strength when it's frozen. So we've broken through that. Now we've got through the fresh stuff underneath. There's nothing frosted at all. Now we can level that off, get to the right depth, and we can start putting our edging curbs in. And what we're going to allow for our edging curbs for a base, because we're using an all-in, a ballast, full concrete, semi-dry, lean mix, dry lean, whatever you want to call it, and we're going to allow 3 to 4 inches and haunched off on either side. He was shy then. He's over there and he ran away from the camera, or run away from me, I'm not quite sure. Listen, what are you doing? You good boy. Good boy, yeah. Good boy. This is our concrete we're going to be using today. This is a lean mix. It's a weak mix. It's not too strong, but the point about it being there's hardly any water in it, just enough just to bring it together. And this is what you want when you're bedding edging curves, and you don't want it too sloppy. So now we've got our lean mix partly underneath this line of the threshold of the drive. We want to end up with about 3 to 4 inches base underneath that pin curve, as I said. But what we need to do, we need to get down to a height where we can just tap the pin curves down. And we do that by just going along with the tape, and we want to roughly about 5 inches. Okay, so we're at 4 inches now, so we can scrape that down. There we are, 5 inches, and we just go along the line like this, getting down 5 inches, 5 inches, 5 inches, and we may have to adjust that after through the compaction, but we got about 3 to 4 inches on there. It's easy with the pin curves to tap down and push them in as you go along. You'll see that now as it unfolds. it might be worth noting that when you're tapping your pin curbs down, initially on the first tap down, try and keep a gap, because the last thing you want is unsightly chip marks in between your curbs. And the other thing to note, you must remember that your pin curbs aren't going to be exactly true. They are going to bow and bend a little bit. Some of them are like bananas if you use a poor manufacturer, but these pin curbs aren't going to be exactly true. So there we are, we've got the pin curbs in, or the edging curbs, edging restraints, whatever you want to call them, but they're going to maintain the integrity of the drive. Though we've got the public highways here with the path, and we know that that's going to retain it, but you still need a pin curb, certainly for definition of your property. So now we have our pin curbs in place, but the next thing to do is that we need a little bit more concrete on the back and on the front. And what that is, that's called haunching. So we've got one more thing to do now, and that's to level off the haunching so it's nice and flat and not undulated up and down, and going to mess around when you get your paving in at a later date. It's me, it's Johnny Boy, the handsome landscaper in the UK, and I'm with
Zoe from Juicing.
And you've taken over from
Andy.
Yeah, are we going to get to know each other as well as Andy and I?
Yeah, definitely.
Andy's taken for food.
Sort something out for you.
How's Nathan? Say it.
Definitely.